Nope. Can we take this again from the top?
Yeah.
Can I get this louder in my cans?
Someone get me out of the cans.
Yeah, too many pickles in these cans.
I can't get out of my cans. Someone get a can opener.
That's a good joke. You think anyone's said that before?
Can you hear that in your cans, me hitting my cans?
I can hear them. I can't tell if it's IRL or through the cans.
IRL or
I live in these cans.
IMC in my cans. Yeah, did I hear that IRL? No, I think I heard that IMC in my cans.
I honestly don't even know what you said. Welcome to Gameography, the podcast about
cans and the people who are in them.
People who are stuck in them.
No, but no joking. No joking aside. That is to say, all joking. What's the opposite?
There'll be no more
aside?
Joking for this episode.
No, I'm actually saying the opposite.
Oh, there'll be only joking.
Yeah.
Once you put your cans on, get your load off.
Take your
and listen to this app.
Take your load off. Put your cans on and Gameography.
Yeah. If you're not listening with cans on, you're not really listening.
That is actually true though.
I was actually going to tell you this before we started recording, but there was literally...
Because it's too boring to actually say on the podcast?
No, there was like 4 accidents on the way here.
Wow.
And so people know, it's like generally like a 10 to 15 minute drive to get here.
And how long was it?
I don't know, 25 minutes. But like, it was like multiple places where there was accidents. And so like, when like when you get off of 65, we're getting real detailed. When you get off the freeway,
real inside Nashville,
and you like get onto Spring or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Spring.
On both sides of the street, there were accidents.
Do you think it was like one accident that like
it could be
split into 2 cars?
Like they like smashed and then like flew off. And
yeah.
They both smashed each other at the same time.
Yeah. And final smash. And then they both flew off the stage.
Yeah.
But it was real life.
Yeah.
No, but that's actually perfect that you showed up late because this is taking it tying it all back together to what we started talking about. When you got here, I was on the can.
Yeah, lots of different cans that Tim has been stuck in his life.
Yeah,
lots and of different kinds of cans.
I was stuck in the can. I wasn't going to tell him that, but I was stuck, and you did have to pull me out.
I did, yeah. That's why you had to tell me.
Yeah. And then we put on these cans, and I'm gonna.
I did. I had to use my. The Luigi's Mansion vacuum thing it was called. I sucked you out of it.
Yeah, you used Gooigi to get me out.
Tim, I have some bad news. You are Gooigi.
Oh my god.
That's why you got stuck in there. You're too gooey.
Oh my god. I honestly, a part of me does feel like one day someone will just sit me down and be like, Tim, you are Gooigi. And you always have been, and that's why everything's kind of just gone wrong for you.
Yeah, it's gonna be your dad.
Son, I had to tell you something. You come from a long line of goo.
Yeah. Is Gooigi like is he a separate entity or is he like somehow formed out of Luigi? Do you know this from playing?
Well, yeah,
Luigi's
what is
Mansion
the
3?
official Luigi canon on the nature of Gooigi? That was a joke, but as I said that, I actually would like to know. That sounds like it would be... Actually, you know what? That's literally just like a YouTube video essay that has not been made yet. No joke. That would blow up.
Or it has.
No, it hasn't.
Point.
No, it hasn't.
But
I would know.
I want to know. Are there other goo, etc. characters?
Oh my gosh! Like if someone else was wearing the that's exactly Wario. Goowario.
Yeah.
Wario. Just. I'm just picturing the sound it would be like, like because doesn't Gooigi make a weird little goo sound? That's Waluigi.
Yeah. And does he like? Does he like? What is he like?
Gooarlic.
Oh
wow!
Welcome to Young RP,
the podcast about Guario and the garlic that he eats.
Yeah, you are what you eat. So it's the garlic that makes him.
Welcome to Guography.
We're talking about Wii. Not goo.
Not goo, Wii. Yes, we know
Yes,
goo.
there are...
Yes, okay, fine. Yes.
Gooigi exists. We accept that.
And yes, Wii is in the word Gooigi. But we'll do another episode on goo and another episode on G, but today is about Wii.
We'll do a whole nother episode just on the fact that Wii is within Gooigi. Yeah. And the significance of that.
This is going to be a 5-parter today, and so that'll probably be part 3 or 4, depending on what comes first.
Yeah. We're just going to, every episode, we're going to, like, continue to make it more, like, parts. Like, we did a 3-part Majora's Mask, so we're going to do a 5-part Wii.
I like that idea, Devin.
We're going to do a 6-part
just, like, Wii U. Flash forward. It's like, we're in part 3,547 of, I don't know, like... whatever the next 5 games from now is.
Yeah. Whatever, yeah. Just Miyamoto's next game turns out to be. Just Pokemon Snap.
We're going to do a 10,000 episode series on Pokemon Snap.
I mean, listen, there's a lot of Pokemon in there.
Yeah. There's a lot of Snap in there, too.
Yeah.
A lot of... actually, this is the perfect time to bring up that I taught Devin how to snap.
This is the only time that it would be appropriate to bring that up.
I've been waiting. I
know that you think I was shaming you before, but now you're really shaming me.
No, I'm proud of you, Devin. I'm proud to call you my disciple and my apprentice.
Also, you're building yourself up.
Yes.
As the one who taught me to snap.
Yes. You're gonna be a famous snapper one day, and I'm gonna like take all the credit. I'm gonna be like in a bar somewhere, just like, I taught him everything he knows.
Yeah.
That son of a bitch didn't even know how to snap before he met me. And I'm just at the bar, like, you see that?
Literally, the whole house is shaking right now.
I'm snapping so hard. I will physically collapse this building.
Tim. That's your problem. That's why you're never gonna make it big. Snapping. You only know power. You don't know restraint. You can only snap at full speed and full power.
This sounds like an anime.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
But all of this is presented with zero, like without a single bit of irony. Like, not a joke at all.
Yeah, but then there's also like weird parts that are like very silly, but they're not related to the snapping.
Yeah,
it's just like one of the characters will always eat like a bowl of ramen by like throwing it in the air and catching it all in his mouth or something.
Yeah, it's a dead serious, like, hardcore adult anime, except for that is very fun and cartoony.
And like everyone's reaction to it is like, and their eyes get really crazy.
And then, just like big anime eyes and like steam's coming out of their ears.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to make the R2D2 sound there. That was just an accident. It's just the only sound like that I have like preloaded at all times.
Yeah. Just load it in your memory.
Speaking of memory, the Wii has it.
Has memory. Has flash memory.
And we have memory of the Wii.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for coming to our TED Talk.
I was going to say like our poetry. And
then what are they all going to do when we finish our poem, Devin? They're going to... It all ties together. Gooigi.
We are the Beat Takeshi poets. Or Beat Tanaka?
Hip Tanaka?
Yeah, but isn't he also known as
we're losing it. we're dropping it. It's not working anymore.
I thought he was known as Beat as well. Well as Chip. Guy has too many nicknames if you ask me.
Beat, Chip, Hip, Tanaka.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but so for real, this is the end of the intro. Now it's time to talk about the Wii.
For real, though. And Tim, I think we'll start with Miyamoto himself talking about the Wii, and from a 2007 keynote that he gave at the Game Developers Conference.
And just for clarity's sake, that is spelled Kiinote. Keynote.
Yeah. So Miyamoto talked about how, like the longer he was in the business, that he started thinking about games a little bit differently, and that like the like like traditionally like the stereotypical like gamer is like just like a young boy or like a guy just like looking like really intense, like if you like picture a gamer.
Just like gaming, kind of like like that gamer look.
I don't know why you're bouncing.
It's the gamer vibe.
And also that like the game market or like audience was kind of like going in like a certain direction, and like it was kind of going away from the kinds of games that like he and Nintendo made. And
he less fun.
Yeah.
Less Mario.
He brought up the examples that in 2004 the top selling games in America were GTA San Andreas, Madden, Halo 2, and NFL 2K.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Notice anything missing from that list? Mario. That was his problem.
Yeah. He was like, why isn't Super Mario Bros. For the NES on that list?
Yeah. When did that stop being a #1 bestseller?
So Miyamoto said they found themselves at a crossroads and decided if they were either going to like try and go that direction or try something completely different.
So you're telling me there was a time when they considered just like making Call of Duty games with Mario?
Yeah, with Mario, yeah.
Like Madden 2004 Mario edition?
Well, I think the way I interpret it is like, do they continue just like how they did with the GameCube of like, we're just going to like make another traditional console and
or do they give Mario a gun? like they always
do. They do something even more insane, which they obviously started to do that year with the DS.
That's wow.
But this is then Miyamoto talking about how he thought about expanding the audience of video games.
Today, I'd like to describe what this means by talking about a personal experience of mine. You see, I actually have my own personal way of determining just how successful a product can be with the expanded audience. I don't really know how to put this into English very well. It's so I'll just call it the wifeometer.
And then he shows a picture of the wifeometer.
So this wifeometer measures only one variable: the interest level of my own wife. Now, maybe some of you out there can remember the very first time that you played a game like Pac-Man, or maybe a game like this. And maybe you think that these were very important moments in your lives. They were not important moments for my wife.
So Miyamoto talked about the concept of the wifeometer, and then he goes on to talk about how, like as his career progressed, different games would kind of get her attention a little more. That when Ocarina of Time came out and his daughter was playing it, his wife would like watch her play it. And so he was like, okay, it's gone up a little bit, but like she's still not like interested in it really.
That's surprising that Ocarina of Time is the one that's doing that.
Yeah, I mean, well, because we talked about how like on that episode that he like kind of bonded with his daughter over that game a bit. Yeah. But then on the GameCube, when Animal Crossing came out, he said, you don't fight anything in this game, and he gave it to her, and she played it, and that was like the first time she had picked up a controller and like run around and done stuff. And then
I think that's like Animal Crossing in a nutshell.
Yeah, exactly. And then when the DS came out, obviously Nintendogs, it was inspired by their dog.
Yeah.
His experience, their experience having a dog. So he gave Nintendogs to her, and she played that. And then he said like, but the game that she like really got into was Brain Age on the DS.
Oh yes, that game's so classic.
And then like in the sequel, which I don't know if, I assume it came out in the US, but he said like, at least in the Japanese version, there's a Dr. Mario minigame in it, That's like basically just looks like Dr. Mario, and she got like really good at it and said that she could beat him in it, and he was like, yeah, and she could.
Wow, beat the doctor himself.
And then this is him talking about the Wii and his wife.
And today, of course, we have a Wii in our house. So last month on the 14th, Valentine's Day, in Japan on Valentine's Day, women give chocolates to men. It's very nice. So, as usual, I came home rather late from work. I expected her to be asleep, but I opened the door and I heard the sounds of the Wii. So, of course, I thought, oh, she waited up just to give me chocolates. That's so sweet. But actually, she was just casting her votes on the Everybody Votes channel. But here's the amazing
That was
thing.
a channel, I guess, for the Wii, where you could
What
like.
this meant is that
was,
she
like, probably a question
herself
every day.
used the Wii and downloaded the Everybody Votes channel all on her own. This is an incredible occurrence in my household. Like, it would be more normal for me to walk home and find Donkey Kong eating at my dinner table.
Miyamoto was just doing stand-up, basically.
It'd be more normal if I found Donkey Kong eating a banana at my dinner table. Just raucous applause
Yeah.
for Donkey Kong.
So that, I feel like, really encapsulates just what they were trying to do with the Wii.
I mean, honestly, the Wii clearly was short for wife. Like, that's what the console is kind of supposed to be. And it's actually striking, like, how successfely they accomplished that. That's exactly what it is. It's the game for, like, people that don't play video games. I mean, the system.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And like, the other thing is, in reading about them talking about, like, when they were, like, coming up with just, like, what they wanted to do with the Wii, is that my takeaway is that it's the mom console. They obviously they wanted to do something unique. They knew that, and basically they wanted to get out of the rat race of just like making the most like powerful console and like being in competition with everyone else doing that exact same thing. And this is what Miyamoto said: too many powerful consoles can't coexist. It's like having only ferocious dinosaurs. They might fight and hasten their own extinction.
Oh my gosh.
And he said, we didn't think it would be possible to build a powerful machine for less than 50,000 yen or $450. Not only would it use a lot of electricity, it would need a fan, which meant it would be noisy. Moms would rise up against it.
Literally, when did Miyamoto become a stand-up? Like,
plus, it would take too long to boot up like a PC, which isn't an ideal toy. And the president of Nintendo at the time, Iwata, also talked about how they wanted to make a small console that didn't take up a lot of space.
Yeah.
And he talked about that when they like first showed it off, that it's the smallest console they'd ever made. And like it's very quiet and stuff.
Yeah.
And also that it would be able to play every Nintendo game ever released, which which is how like the virtual console.
Yeah.
In addition to being able to play GameCube, obviously.
Yeah.
But he said moms would hate it if they had several consoles lying around. Just everyone brings it back to moms.
It was all about moms right from the beginning.
Yeah.
But actually, that made me think that Nintendo kind of has always maybe, or at least like that in the GameCube and maybe in the N64, like they lead the industry in terms of like consoles that look good sitting on a shelf. You know, like I guess like PlayStation I think of, but it's like, that's a consideration not everyone thinks of.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Wow. The mommy.
Yeah, so about the name, Tim.
Oh, please.
Think back to your yonder years.
Okay. My yonder.
Do you remember what you thought of like the name of the Wii when it came out? Or around that time, I guess? Like whenever you first heard of the Wii or knew about it?
Do you want me to say it? Wee. Is that what you're getting at?
That's what you thought? I'm just asking a question, Tim.
Is that what you're trying to get me to say? You want me to say that on the record?
Could you repeat? I'm sorry, sir. Could you repeat that slowly?
Wee. I don't know. I liked it. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it's like it really just is Japanese, but the I of it all was always very charming to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that just the visual of it, you know, like because phonetically we, doesn't really do much for me, but seeing it on paper, WII is a beautiful set of letters.
Wow, very strange.
What were your
I feel
thoughts?
like they were like inspired by like the Pixar like logo.
What,
because
like the lamp?
Yeah, like kind of.
Okay.
Because when they, or that's what kind of what it made me think of. Because when they like showed like the logo at first is like animated and like the eyes are kind of like.
Oh, you're right. I
also,
that.
it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like two people. I think.
Oh, wow.
It's supposed to be like either two people that could represent that, or it's like the like Wii remote and the nunchuck are like the two.
Oh yeah.
The two eyes.
Wow. This is like the Pepsi logo rebranding level like thought put into this name.
Yeah. Well, but like at the time it was like criticized and mocked up by a lot of people, obviously. I mean, yeah, like we were all there.
Yeah.
We all remember people saying like "wee" and laughing.
And like
as children.
Like
listen, but also like
yeah.
adults.
Yeah.
Made fun of it.
There's grounds for making fun of it.
Yeah.
But the fact that it is really truly just a perfect entry point into the like whole train of thought that the Wii was the first and quite possibly most ever stylized console, which is my personal thesis statement for this episode. Because look, we have Nintendo Entertainment System. Right from the beginning, it's like, okay, yeah, that's something. Famicom, family computer. It's like you're just saying what it is. Super.
I don't know. I feel like
Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah.
Nintendo 64 because it had 64 bits. The GameCube, it's because it's the cube and it plays games, and that's something.
Yeah.
The GameCube, but it's like game console.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Does that need to be plugged in?
I mean, it's plugged in.
No, but I mean, were you gonna play something soon?
Well, yeah, but then you start going off. So.
Okay.
Start freaking going off on me. I'll wait until it's time.
But then we have the Wii, which the name alone, it at first glance means nothing. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Xbox. Actually, as I say that, that's a little bit in that direction.
Xbox is kind of in that, but I think there were definitely, and you can see this in the design, like how just the console looks and stuff. Like they were very influenced by like tech companies.
Oh, interesting.
Apple and like
and
Google and stuff.
I mean, Apple actually probably is one of the biggest inspirations because it's like at that time a white computer was an Apple computer.
Yeah, I mean even now, like when I think of like a white electronic, you think of Apple.
Yeah, 100%. Which is funny because they don't really make them anymore hardly, but no one actually. But
does. Like they still have some, like the earbuds are.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's
white.
actually totally true.
But yeah, they have gone away from that a little bit. But yeah, and like they even like talked about Google as like an example of another name that's like
that's funny.
That name doesn't like mean any that name is just like a crazy
that's a perfect example. Yeah, it's totally like that.
Yeah,
where it's like literally just silly on a phonetic level.
Yeah, but this is Reggie. The first appearance of Reggie, and
wow,
this may be the only episode with him, but we'll see.
Actually, in the Ocarina of Time episode, I was listening to that today. Andy asks us if Reggie had come up yet, and so here you go, Andy.
This is him talking about the name.
Nintendo means just what it sounds like. Wii. It's the sound of inclusion, the sound of every gamer you know and every new gamer who's going to join us. It's a giant leap for gaming, for everyone around the world.
He talked about how like it's like you can say it in like any like language, basically. Like
that's
funny.
It's
not like a word that you like have to know. It's just like a sound, basically. But yeah, that's like kind of their whole thing of just like it includes everyone.
Yeah,
like that's the whole thing of the Wii is like.
Yeah.
Their whole thing was like trying to get people who had never played games before to try and play games.
Yeah. And spoilers, they succeeded.
Spoilers, grandma's bought this.
The momometer was off the charts.
The Wii sold over 100 million units by 2013.
And do you know off the top of your head, is it still the most selling Nintendo console? Or
yes, it is. Of the like home consoles, not handhelds. But
is Game Boy the most of all of them?
I think DS is.
Oh,
actually, the DS
they did family.
like family. Yeah,
Yeah, makes sense because they made like 20 of them.
Yeah. Well, I don't think 3DS is counted in that. Though.
Yeah, but still,
But
like the DS
There's-
Lite, DSi.
DSXL, DSi XL, Super XL DS. Yes, the second one I think might be the Switch now.
Yeah, I think that last time I looked, it was like climbing up towards the Wii. Like it's gonna dethrone it.
It's definitely
eventually.
not there yet.
Yeah.
Um,
And I guess probably most people who have Wiis. Oh, but if they come out with Switches. If they come out with like a Switch Pro or whatever, that's probably going to actually tip it over fast because everyone's just going to buy another one.
Yeah. There's already I saw some statistic that like I don't know, 1 in 6 Switches or some crazy numbers sold in last year was 2 people who already had Switches. Just people who wanted a second one for their house.
Yeah. And then probably a lot of people with Switches that are then buying Switch Lites or whatever.
Yeah.
That's probably a pretty big population.
Yeah. And the Wii is the 4th best-selling console of all time, surpassed only by the PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation 2.
Wow, that's
It's crazy that they're all PlayStation.
Yeah, and why not the PS3?
Yeah. I mean, the PS3 is definitely the lowest selling PlayStation.
That makes sense.
But yeah, and then this is not necessarily the reveal of the Wii, because they revealed it a little bit earlier than this, but or the motion controls and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is how they revealed it at the first E3 that it was shown at. It is,
I know what's about to happen.
Miyamoto is walking out
in a tux,
in a conductor outfit, basically.
Oh yeah. This is the symphonies.
Yeah. This is Wii Music.
Oh, I remember playing that game.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh. That's so great that it just isn't really working.
Yeah. Well, it's just I think the way it works, right, is the speed that you do it is the speed. Yeah. So at least they weren't faking it. You can give them that.
Yeah.
I just love how into it he is.
Oh, he's going ham.
And a bunch of Miis playing.
Do you think that's all the developers? They made their own Miis? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Miyamoto. At this point, he's starting to kind of look like a grandpa.
Also, what I love about this is, we won't show this, but they don't really talk about this after it. They're not they're not this is a game. They're just okay, thanks Miyamoto.
Miyamoto asked multiple times to go on stage and do this, so we told him he shouldn't, but he insisted, so we just threw him a bone.
And then later on in that conference, let's show it. We're gonna play a little clip of Miyamoto explaining Wii Sports. And this would be the reveal of Wii Sports as well.
But before I pick the winner, I should
never heard him speak
explain
English.
how we will play. Tennis, anyone?
So they had a drawing of someone in the audience that would come play with him, play tennis with him.
Even your mom can play. Just grip the Wii remote like a tennis racket. I'll show you. Let me explain in Japanese.
And now he's just playing. This is the best part.
Toss up,
To serve, you just toss and serve. One swift stroke.
One hand,
You hit forehands,
forehand,
backhands.
It's like literally running around the stage.
lobs,
You can swing low to high to hit lobs.
top spin,
Twist the remote as you're swinging for top spin or backspin. And hopefully you'll keep it in bounds.
He knocked it out.
あんまりね、I'm pro player あんまり上手じゃないんでね、
I'm not quite as good as I hoped at this game.
誰かに手伝ってもらおうと。
It's great. And then they obviously call someone on and they play. And it's great because it's like him and then like the new guy who just is like a regular me, but like Miyamoto has like Miyamoto me and then
Miyamoto.
yeah. And then Iwata and Reggie come out and play. And they have their own Miis.
Oh,
great.
that's so
But going back to Wii Music, what do you have anything to say about that? Because I didn't know you had played that.
great. Yeah. I think like one day I went over to my cousin's house and we played it for like an hour.
Yeah.
It was actually, I remember being very fun, but it's a little disappointing in that it's like you can't really like play like the instruments in it. It's like all kind of, like you just and it plays a melody. But it was fun.
Yeah.
It's definitely in a whole category that there are like hundreds of these games where it's like Wii's horse riding.
Yeah. Well, that's actually part of a set that Miyamoto. So like when they first were planning the Wii, Miyamoto supposedly just like sat down with a piece of paper and wrote down like like a bunch of ideas, and those became like the like core like Wii Sports, Wii Music, Wii Fit,
gosh.
and Wii Play were like the first like 4 just kind of like showcases of the Wii.
Oh my goodness! All 4 of those were like within almost like just like a 4-part piece of like Wii gaming
of just Miyamoto being like, we should do this, and then he just like gave that to somebody.
Just all in one like fell swoop of divine inspiration. Miyamoto changed the world with Wii Music.
Yeah.
What does Wii Play though? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I never heard of it. I don't know if it must have been like bigger in Japan or something, because I feel like it's like the spiritual predecessor to like that like 1-2 Switch or whatever for the Switch.
Oh yeah.
I think it's the same. It's just like a bunch of like mini games that like show like
like
how to use the Wii remote basically, or like like ideas for how to use it and stuff.
Yeah.
Seems like I don't know. Nobody really talks about it, so I figured we wouldn't.
Yeah.
but Wii Sports.
I mean, literally one of the most important video games of all time.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Yeah, it's truly insane, and it's like I don't know if. I think it is maybe still like the best-selling video game of all time, or it's one of, because like it just came with every Wii.
And it's like it came with every Wii, but it also truly just had a reputation of its own. I think.
Yeah,
where it was
well, it's like that's like the whole reason people got Wii, because they wanted to play Wii
exactly,
Sports. Like,
I mean, honestly,
there's lots of people who like got that and then just didn't buy any of their Wii games. I think.
Totally, yeah. Because I mean, it's kind of like I don't know that there's that many Wii games that at the time were like you have to play like this game. There's definitely some that like people that knew.
Yeah.
But like
Wii it's also like what they talk about is like it's they wanted to make those experiences that were like much less intimidating, where it's like if you see someone playing like Zelda or Mario, it's like I don't think I could do that. But like you just see someone like swinging their hand to like hit a tennis ball, you're like, yeah, that looks fun. Like, I like tennis. Like, I'm not good at it, but this will let me be good at it.
Exactly, yeah. And it's I think that part of why it's so successful is that like that idea is just genius, and then the execution of it is truly, I mean, maybe it's only on one end of the spectrum where it's if you don't know what you're doing, you can like totally ball at Wii tennis.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna say that like he was doing in that video all those complex moves where you move it in certain ways, and so it's like I guess there's that level where it's like you can figure out how to really do it well and all.
Yeah.
But I think that might be the real problem with the Wii is just that when it comes to like complex movements, it actually is almost impossible.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea you could do any of those things in Wii tennis, and I've been playing Wii tennis all this year.
I bet you have like done a bunch of those things without just knowing it.
Yeah, totally.
Because like what they talked about is like you like kind of like twist it to like give it spin and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think they really explain it.
Yeah.
But like one of the things they talked about is like they're like maybe like the programmer or one of the people who like actually like worked on the game more like deeply talked about is like specifically with tennis, it's like there's so many like ways that the Wii like remote can like capture your movement that it's like unlikely that like in broad strokes obviously it'll be like the same, but like it's unlikely you like will hit the same exact like
interesting
strike on the
that's
ball
cool.
over it like again if you hit it like 100 times.
Yeah. I wish that was more apparent when
Yeah.
actually doing it.
Yeah.
Because that sounds awesome.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the thing is like I think the problem with it is just there's no like real reason to like play it that like seriously or competitively, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're just playing it just like casually, like you play it like once when you go over to somebody's house and then it's like, okay, cool.
And that clearly is the conceit of it. Like,
and it works great for that.
Yeah, it's perfect for that. There's literally just an era where like I think everyone our age or everyone that lived through that era.
Yeah.
It's like I know like because I remember my mom would have she had like her best friend that was also a mom, and she multiple times brought over Wii Fit and they would play it together. Yeah. Like we'd both of our families would get together and play the Wii Fit together.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it was a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like when I say like my grandma bought a Wii and like we would go over there and like we would all just like play Wii Sports.
Yeah.
Like with my parents and stuff, like everyone would play it.
Yeah.
And like
everyone can do it.
Yeah.
He really did it. The waifu meter was right.
When they were first starting out with Wii Sports, they weren't sure what to use as like the characters in the game, and they even tried it out with like using like Mario and like Nintendo characters, but they decided that it didn't feel like you were playing it necessarily. It felt like you were controlling Mario like playing tennis.
Yeah.
And so Miyamoto comes in and is like, guys, I've had this idea for years.
I forgot. Yeah, he totally did that.
Yeah. So he talked about
me time has come.
Exactly. But he suggested they make a character creator based off of kokeshi, which are these Japanese like little Japanese wooden dolls.
Oh, interesting.
And so that like if you Google that, or we'll like tweet it at GameographyPod on Twitter.
GameographyPod at twitter.com.
They're like very like simple, just like they're like, you know, like their head is one shape and then their body is like another shape, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then like their hair, I guess, could be considered another shape, but
much like me.
Much like
you. Why you?
Yeah, and so we talked about in the GameCube episodes about Talent Maker.
Yeah.
Or Talent Studio, I guess, which was that like for the N64, like basically like Mii Creator, but like even more insane and detailed, where you could like take pictures and like upload those and stuff, which is another idea they tried for the Wii, but they said not to do that.
Yeah.
And also on the GameCube, there was a game that never even got like shown basically, called Manebito. And it was a game like Talent Studio where you could like make characters, and there was hundreds of outfits and accessories and stuff. But the problem was they never figured out like what you would do with the characters.
Yeah.
So like you could make all these really detailed characters, but but there's no game to do it with. So
yeah, and that's honestly, see, the idea of Talent Maker Studio, what is it? I guess every time we've said it, we've been saying it differently.
Yeah, I guess it's Talent Studio.
The pre-me,
the
whole like concept of it is fun, and I'm sure you could have a fun day with your friends making your own little characters.
Yeah.
But the genius of it, and the genius that is clearly so good, it has gone into every system since then. I guess the Wii U the Wii U, the 3DS, and the Switch all have the Miis.
Yeah.
Because somehow they figured out technologically in between the GameCube and Wii how to like incorporate these characters into every game you play, basically.
Yeah.
Like when you're in like Twilight Princess and you just come across the Mii dungeon.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like the Wii is the first Nintendo system where there's really like a system.
Yeah.
It's not just like you put in a disc and it goes, or you put in a game card.
Yeah.
It's like there's like stuff outside of the games, and that was like a big design decision too. Of like they wanted it to be like you can check the weather and you can check news and like go online and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this clearly was like a turning point in Nintendo's design where the GameCube and the N64 just didn't work as well as they wanted it to, like financially. Yeah. And so they just like completely changed everything. And it's like that's still the Nintendo that we have today. Mm-hmm. Like so much of what came in this like era is still in the Switch.
Yeah. And like they like that the whole thing of just having like different stuff on there that wasn't even related to games at all is like definitely part of their like we just want everyone in the family to like be using this. Yeah. Like even if they're not playing games, like you could just like turn it like power it on and like check like the weather or whatever.
Yeah, because this is also kind of like I think definitely before smartphones and like everyone having laptops that were fast like was universal, and then probably before even it was like starting to become common. You know?
Especially in Japan, because like smartphones took off like later in Japan.
Oh, really?
Like then here for sure, yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
But also like the iPhone, didn't the iPhone come out like 2006 or 2007, like around the same time as the Wii probably?
That sounds about right.
So yeah, and it's honestly like, so like they broke those different functions, I guess, into like what were called Wii channels. The little screens when you open it up, and those are like honestly when you think about it, like they're kind of like apps on an iPhone.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So it's like they kind of both came to just that same conclusion.
Yeah, and also the iPhone came out in 2008. So they were actually kind of ahead of this curve. That's pretty crazy.
Miyamoto Jobs. Who's better? I think
we all know
the answer.
We all know the answer to that.
Yeah. I guess the other thing with Wii Sports is like obviously everyone loves tennis.
Yeah.
And everyone loves
that
like,
is funny.
bowling.
I never thought of that, but yeah, tennis is definitely by far the most popular one.
Definitely the best one, yeah. And then it's like who plays baseball? That's my question.
Baseball's actually pretty fun.
Actually, baseball was good, but then there's like boxing.
Oh, yeah, that one I feel like I've played like once.
Exactly.
I think I remember it being fun, but
yeah, it's like fun, but it's also like just like so like insane, like chaotic.
Yeah.
It's like not as like elegant or like it's like fun like the one time you do it, and then it's like well the next time's not really gonna be different.
Yeah. And then baseball and bowling both have the unique characters that they like it's one person at a time, whereas tennis is everyone playing together.
Yeah. And like bowling is great because like it truly just feels like bowling, I feel like.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like there's really like you're not missing out a lot besides like holding a heavy bowling ball.
Yeah. It's like almost the exact same level of difficulty too.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's clearly a little easier, but it truly is like Yeah.
And they talked about how like when they knew that like it was gonna be like something special, is that when they had it at E3 and like they were watching like somebody play tennis and they like with like imaginarily threw up a ball with their other hand even though there's nothing there and then hit it with the Wiiyamoto. They were like, wow, people are like they're like completely into it.
Yeah, they're like immersed in the Wii world.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is I never knew that like the Miis came basically because of Wii Sports, which is crazy.
Oh yeah.
And I think they were also originally planning to like that was just going to be a thing for Wii Sports, and then like somebody, probably Miyamoto, was like, no, Miis are us.
What if they were everywhere?
Miis are we.
We are Miis. Actually, I can't think off the top of my head of like any like mainline games that use the Miis in the Wii. Because I think what I'm actually thinking of more is the 3DS and the Switch, where like in Smash on both of those you have them.
Are.
I mean, clearly there are, but it's like actually, I think it was like they maybe didn't even realize for most of the Wii, like the power that they had.
Yeah. Well, another crazy thing that came out like within the last year, I think, that somebody found by looking through like the ROM or whatever of Breath of the Wild. You know about this?
Oh yeah.
Like all the characters in Breath of the Wild are created with like a more advanced version of the Mii creator, basically.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think it's like it's actually just that they are literally Miis that get filtered like into
like Breath of the Wild style.
Yeah. Because then I remember seeing pictures or videos of like people who had turned like really ugly Miis, like the ones that we made.
Yeah.
We'll be tweeting some Mii action on our Twitter. Once again, that is at Gameography Pod website. GameographyPod.com. And there's like, ones with like eyes coming out the side and stuff and like big ridiculous mustaches.
Yeah.
Which
is great.
When you, because like, we've had fun together, like playing with the Miis and making Miis that look ridiculous. I feel like the very first thing I did after like understanding what the Mii Maker was I was like, how can I completely fuck this up? And I would make it so the eyes were both together in the middle and make a cyclops.
Yeah.
Or they were like off the head and it looked like a bug.
Yeah.
Did you do that right away?
I think I did do that. I'll say for me, I didn't have as much opportunity to do that because I didn't personally ever have a Wii, which I don't know if you did.
I actually didn't either. I had like my stepbrother did, so I'd play it once in a while. But
that's like the crazy thing about this console too is like even if you never had it, like you definitely played it.
that is true. Yeah, because like weirdly, it's like the only Nintendo console that I feel like I didn't have other than the Wii U. Or, I don't know. Count plenty of other examples actually. So of the ones we've talked about recently, I feel like I'm constantly giving like my personal history with it. But
since
this one,
the N64,
yeah. But yeah, and you didn't have one either. But still, we both played it probably so much more than any other console we didn't own ourselves.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
That honestly, the Wii probably, this is obviously an unmeasurable like statistic, but it's the console most played by people who don't own the console.
Yeah, definitely. And then going back to the Wii aesthetic, which we talked about, obviously, like, there's just kind of like visually, there's the whole like big buttons and like, of like white blue that's like this mirrors the same as the console itself,
And actually, the like UI design is very Apple as well.
Yeah.
Probably, I guess, because that must have been in the iMac and stuff at the time before the iPhone, but it's like the rounded edges and stuff.
Well, the iPod Touch. Didn't that come out?
That came out after the iPhone, right?
Okay.
Had to have.
I don't know.
I feel like the whole concept is like it's an iPhone, but on an iPod.
Yeah. The iPhone, not phone, is what they should have called it.
But yeah, actually, it really is like the Mac of video game consoles. Because I remember
not the Big Mac of video game consoles. Though that could be argued.
Just real quick aside, we've talked before about how the Guinness is the Big Mac of beers. I just want you to ruminate on that and think about it. That's for you. My dad, though, he had an Xbox original console. That's another one that like I knew a lot of people that had, but I never had one. And that actually had like a whole menu system and stuff, I believe, right? That was like closer to what we have now, like kind of ahead of its time.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, because like the PlayStation 2 also had like
did it?
A little menu system.
Oh, okay.
And well, I don't know. You would know. But like, did the GameCube literally not have anything?
Yeah, the GameCube was like the N64, where it's like there was a way. It's like when that like intro started, like it's like you'd hold a button and then it would go into a menu if you needed to do stuff in the console. But it's like you always would just start the game.
Yeah. Well, I assume it was like similar to the Xbox, and then maybe it got a little bigger. But like on the PlayStation 2, because it could like play CDs and movies.
Yeah, that's probably what
you
it was.
Obviously needed to like do that.
Yeah.
So and there was like, like you could go into like settings and maybe some other stuff, but
which weird, the Wii does not play CDs and DVDs.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny that.
No, they like, because it basically is like they would have made it more expensive.
No, it would have damaged the disc drive because you can actually hack it to play them.
Oh, really?
But it's because like the Wii discs for whatever reason rarely spin. And so to read a DVD has to spin the whole time, and it shortens the life.
So
of
it
your
must
Wii
have
by, like a huge factor.
Yeah, so it must have been because they wanted to not use as good of a disc drive.
Oh, I see. You're right. Actually, yeah.
But like, because they sold something, and maybe only in Japan, that like you could like attach to your Wii that then it could play.
Oh,
DVDs.
weird.
Yeah,
weird.
Yeah,
that's also kind of classic Nintendo. And also kind of classic Apple to just like not include something that you obviously should have included.
Yeah.
But then I mean,
yeah.
there's give and take. There's clearly it worked out.
Yeah. Yeah. And then a big part of the aesthetic, obviously, is the music.
Oh yeah. And then you've been hearing it in this episode so far.
Yeah. But here's my theory. Here's my game theory.
Okay.
The Wii aesthetic begins on the Super Nintendo with Mario Paint.
My goodness.
Listen to this. It's unclear who made this specific song, but our old friend Chip Tanaka, or whatever we want to call him,
Chip Hip Smack Tanaka,
was one of the composers of this game. And this is the song that, like, when I hear it, it specifically is like, that's a Wii song. Like,
oh my goodness. Devin!
Yeah.
Devin,
Yeah.
this is for real a game theory.
This is a real game theory.
Has anyone discovered this before you?
I don't know. I didn't look it up or anything, but there's definitely no one in the comments of these videos saying anything like that. But it is just so clear.
If they could have seen how your hips moved in synchronization with that.
Much like you were talking about how the Wii's hips move. Or
Like
Miis.
hip Tanaka. Yeah, the hips of the Miis just slightly gyrate. Just ever so slightly, you'd never notice it unless you were looking
unless
for
you're
it.
Tim. And that's a little bit of that's the Mario Paint theme. That dun, 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 dun. That's so good.
Devin, I am truly blown away. This is a genuine discovery that you've made.
And that song is called Monkey Song. Just so you know.
Monkey Song from Mario Paint.
Yeah. But of course, obviously, then I feel like this is something you talked about is it's the only console that has it a theme, a musical theme.
And it also has numerous themes.
Yeah.
What I said is it is the only console with a soundtrack.
Yeah.
Because it's not a theme. It is a goddamn soundtrack. Literally. I mean, you turn it on, and this is, I think, the single most underrated piece of Wii music is the intro music. Or the background music, I mean.
Just that kind of ambient.
I'll play it in the background.
Okay, good. But when you look up Wii theme, it is this song that plays, at least when we were on the Wii earlier, when you're making the Miis. It's just I feel one thing that they do, a lot of them do this, is a mix of kind of electronic sounding, those keys.
Yeah.
But then with weird strings and stuff and plucking and
yeah. It's all very much like bossa nova, kind of Latin jazz songs, but in this very minimalist arrangement.
Yeah.
And there's actually a few more too, but it's they all follow this same.
Yeah.
Because when presented with the challenge of how do I make a song that people will listen to in the background for literally 10 hours and they'll still love it, it's that's what you get.
They did a good job.
Whoever it is, pats on your back.
Yeah. Tim, do you have anything else to say about the Wii console in general itself?
Yeah, I
Miis, other channels.
Other channels. Yeah, I mean, it is a historical console. If there was one console that I had to pick as the most significant, the system itself is significant, 100% this one, if not the NES,
Yeah.
It's changed the game, which is also weird because it's it's an example of a console that it's technologically the least of a jump between consoles probably in all of Nintendo's history, right? Where it's Wii games are barely more sophisticated than GameCube games.
Yeah,
They
it just
require
depends
motion
how
controls.
what you mean by technologically. But yes, it was. I think they probably did regret because like it couldn't like it wasn't even like HD.
Yeah, it was 480p, and you can definitely see it when you put it on like a new TV.
Yeah, they probably did regret that, but like what they said was, or Miyamoto was like, most people don't have HD TVs.
Yeah,
then like within a couple of years, I think most people did. So
yeah, because like the Xbox 360, which that was its like compatriot.
Yeah, Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3
colleague.
Yeah,
like I know that the Xbox 360 had like HDMI.
Yeah,
like it was like kind of way ahead of the curve, and so
yeah, and the Xbox 360 came out a year before.
Wow, that's you know, there's pros and cons to the two strategies. You know, the like powerful futuristic console,
but they also wanted it to be like very cheap.
Yeah, and so it all makes sense.
Yeah. Even though it didn't end up being like that cheap, but definitely cheaper than the alternatives.
Yeah.
But Miyamoto said that he wanted to be $100. He was like, I wanted to be just like completely bare bones. But he was
how much was it?
I think it was $250 when it came out.
100. That's insane.
Yeah, true.
The DS wasn't even that little.
Exactly. Yeah.
How did he think that was going to happen?
I don't know. He's a crazy man.
Yeah, no, but the Wii's great.
Yeah.
I got nothing else to say about it.
Should we do a second episode, Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just keep that in.
Thank you for listening to Gameography.
We will continue our discussion of the Wii by talking about more of the actual games.
Yeah.
Besides Wii Sports next time. We'll be talking Twilight Princess, Legend of Zelda, Mario, Galaxy, Galaxy, Mario,
Galaxy Princess,
and Wii Fit.
Oh, okay, we're talking about Wii Fit. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if either of us have even played it, but
barely. Yeah,
I think it's just interesting. So we'll talk about it a little bit.
Beautiful.
So see you next time.
Bye bye.